In the studio, he's got a great title. The word mentor pops up everywhere. Matter of fact, he is the chief mentor officer?
Chief mentor.
Just chief mentor. I mean, it's a very, very powerful title. You have a book out right now called Young Leader 3.0, Stories, Insights, and Tips for the Next Generation Achievers. That's great. Jason Ma's joining us. What is the Next Generation Achievers? What is that?
Well, that's basically pretty much Gen Z or Gen Edgers and Millennials and teenagers and 20-somethings. So I feel that my job, my passion is really to inspire and guide them for success.
Okay. So let's step back real quick. Tell me a little about you. What gave you the ability to mentor hundreds of thousands, thousands of millennials? What have you done to get to that point? Because that's a lot of insight to share with them.
It's crazy. I think a bit of probably some struggles kind of drove me initially here. I got two retired parents. One's 93, one's 81, I think. They're retired blue-collar workers. Okay. So my dad is a custodian, not the financial kind, but the janitor kind. My mom's retired a seamstress here. I remember back when I was 12 years old, I started working for her. She used to bring home work from the factory, like clothing, sewing, in Chinatown in the city. And I had to help her because we came from a very humble family, lower middle class. My dad had no education. My mom finished her middle school education in her 20s in the Cultural Revolution in China.
Wow.
So when I reflect back, I said, gosh, I wish I got someone like me mentoring me in my teenage years, in my 20s even, right? Because I made so much mistakes or bad indecisions and just kind of lack of guidance here. And fast forward to 2005, I thought that, the education industry is very interesting. No one knows that, not many people know that it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
It's huge.
It's about the third biggest industry in the world. So today it's about $6 or $7 trillion. And number one. Number two, I want to do something entrepreneurial intersecting China because the Chinese in China are having so much fun, right? Went back, got a partner, and we started this company. It's a software as a service company for education. And then later on, I merged a company with a US set of learning centers, and that formed my previous company. And I got all the top guys. I was the interim CEO, and all the top guys, we got very deep into college counseling. And I realized that, I'm going to inject a bit of life coaching in there too.
But you got to really experience the millennials just as they're doing that life change, right?
Oh, life change, transformations. Right. I transform kids all the time. And some of the best ones, they transcend, not only transform. Transcendence means that now they are transformed. Their mindset, the skill set, the strategy, the aim, the aspirations, their ambition line, their how-tos, the tactics, execution power is so strong that they are able to transcend and really help the world, right? That's part of my job. So I feel that I want to churn out, new leaders. And from that previous company, I formed my current company.
And your current company does what exactly?
My current company is called 3EQ Inc. I got my passion and mission is exactly what my company does, right? Because I love to inspire and guide. My younger daughter tells me, Dad, don't use the word shape, use the word guide. Yes, ma'am. She's 15-year-old. She's a high school sophomore. And I listen to her. She's one of my confidants.
I think it's a great description. I like the shaping or the guiding direction. It is. It's guiding, right?
Yeah.
If anything, I would say it's pulling, but they don't want to hear that either, right?
It's guiding. There's a lot of heart, a lot of spirit, a lot of emotions, a lot of psychology, a lot of skill sets, a lot of strategy, tactics, and a lot of spirituality too, scientifically speaking. So 3EQ, what it does is exactly what I do, my mission and passion, inspire and guide the next generation for success, right? So I got a high-end service, and this is, I got an exclusive clientele, which is building, but it's limited to high-end families and corporations. And then at the other end is my book. Because people told me, Jason, you're great in what you do. Oh my God, you share your teachings here. The only way to do that to the masses, this guy.
You got to write a book.
For the price of lunch, right? So after 2,000 hours of team time, I put together a team, a diverse group of 17 to 24-year-old exemplary leaders, and then 2,000 hours of team time. 2 years later, boom, the book is born.
So the book right now can be found where?
Amazon.
Amazon's called Young Leaders 3.0. And I like the idea of the stories and insights. So you sat there and did you find these stories or were these given to you saying, hey, I went through this peril, this situation, this is what's going on? Did you find any consistencies amongst the stories?
Absolutely.
What would be a consistency amongst these young leaders?
I would say that first of all, the book itself, there's a lot of there's quite a bit of life lessons, life skills, right? Personal stories, and a lot of struggles, failures, how to manage failures, and then how they overcame those failures. what they've learned from that. A lot of reflections, a lot of humility. I think the art of vulnerability is pretty important. So one of the many common threads, the epilogue wraps up the success pattern scene with my concluding advice. And throughout the 23 chapters in there, my daughter's in there too. She's the youngest. And then I got a guy in there who's 22, got out from Princeton, running fiscal note. I wrote at the end of his chapter that I believe he's going to be a billionaire. What I did not write is that he's going to be in his 20s, right? What some of the common threats is that...
You got to give us some common threads, because I know we're going to all read the book.
Yeah.
But you got to give us some candy. What's the common threads?
I would say they are pretty resourceful. They are very...
but isn't that across that entire generation, resourcefulness is what they have? That's what makes them incredibly strong?
Yes. Resourcefulness is part of that. The ability to focus.
Wait a second. We're talking about the ADD generation. You're saying they have ability to focus.
You still have to focus very well, because without focusing, even though we are all ADD, you and I got ADD, correct?
Okay.
So, and you have to focus in order to, let's say you are Gen Z, you're in high school, you're 17 years old, you're in the college app season right now. If you're not able to focus on really brainstorm and crank on those essays, you're dead meat. Okay, are you going to spend all the time doing digital media? No, you cannot do that. I got high achieving kids of mine that literally shut off Facebook for a couple of months because they have to focus on strategic priorities. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for them to get into Harvard or something.
You just said something really interesting. You said the word, they have to actually turn off is what they have to do, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what, I'm old, and being
I'm older than you.
You know what? I hate to stereotype. Since you're Asian, you could be 1,000 years old and still look young. Okay,
close.
But the issue is, we didn't have too many things we had to turn off. It was TV and radio when we were young. That's the only things that were on, right? So to turn things off made it really easy for us to focus, theoretically, right?
Right.
This generation, everything screams at them. It's got to be very, very difficult to turn off things. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes and no. I think part of that is really shaping your habits.
Jason's book is called Young Leaders 3.0, Stories, Insights, and Tips for the Next Generation Achievers. So how long did it take you to write this book?
Man, over 2,000 hours of team time.
Really hard.
It's crazy.
Right? It's
because
really hard.
The kids, to get them to put the life story into 12 pages here.
You asked them to do that. So you weren't listening to them.
I spend hundreds of hours training them, coaching them, and edited a whole bunch of things here. And then I did the narration. I wrote the intro. I wrote the epilogue. So,
well, okay, let's step back over.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this is a crowdsourced book?
I would not say crowdsourced.
You got the crowd. You got your crowd to source it together.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's crowdsourced.
I guess so.
That really makes you super intelligent, because what you did is you got someone else to basically help you write the book.
Kind of.
Yeah, no, you did.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Was that right?
I applaud you for that. Good job.
Thank you.
I want to do that.
It's a labor of love, man.
It takes a labor of love, but I think there's a lot of great insights that's going to come from this. So I want to take a couple of questions from different points of view. First, you said you were a parent.
Yes.
I'm a parent too, and maybe a lot of people that are listening right now are kids.
Besting.
And our kids, especially if your kids are, let's say, under 25, the world to them that we're handing to them, we are being older, it's not really all that good of a world. We kind of really messed it up.
Yes.
Right? From problems in politics to environmental issues to farming to agriculture. It's kind of a messed up world.
That's right. The social, economic, and the geopolitical undercurrent, it's a little bit more turbulent than we think here.
Yes.
I'm also a B20 member. We're the guys that represent the global business community and pushing policies to the G20. I may meet the country presidents next month.
That's impressive.
At the summit in Turkey. They're going to hand over to China, by the way. So it's crazy.
So we have an opportunity, our younger generation, to fix this planet or to see where there's opportunities, okay? So as parents right now, what 3 things from what you've learned can you give us as parents advice to help our children to become these next generation achievers?
I'm going to keep it at a strategic level, okay, with whole heart and strategy.
Okay.
First and foremost, constant soft love, okay? Love. Very important. Make sure you show care and love for the kids. Number 2 is really high standards, high expectations. You have to set high expectations with the kids here.
Give me an example of high expectations.
Well,
achievable high expectations, you mean, right?
It's relative to the kid. Let's say the kid's got ADD. I mean, the kid's got autism or something like that. Okay. So it's limited physically, correct? But it's really, what do you do tap into the kid's IQ and raise his EQ, emotional, social, leadership intelligence. I'm real big on that in my training, in my mentoring through the book. It's big on EQ, practical EQ.
Right.
And get some help. I'm being very serious because Mother Nature dictates that the relationship between the child and the parent is never perfect. It's never informal. It's a bit of a formal thing. That's how he designed it. Okay. And I work for him. You know, I work for myself. I own everything that I do, but I work for him.
Got it.
And he wants me to apply myself fully. Same thing. And I teach kids to, parents, keep in mind that the most important thing is really to help hone your kids' practical, powerful is maybe too much use, but practical, positive mindset and skill set. Really focus on those on top of what's missing in school.
Okay. We have love, right? We have
high expectations, high standards.
Right. And then you have get some help, which means is mentor.
Get some mentors, get advisors. Like I think about, Mark Zuckerberg. Do you think he was a great CEO back in Harvard in his early 20s? I don't think so.
Not at all.
Now, did he develop himself to have great habit and great skill set to learn? He's a world-class learner? Absolutely.
Yes.
Did he have a whole bunch of mentors and advisors around him on the board? Absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
They taught him.
No, I know Sean. I know Parker, who got involved and really said, hey, we got to get some other people involved.
You got Mark Andreessen. You got Peter Thiel, blah, 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 right? All those guys.
So I want to go back to this idea of achievement, because I think that is very, very important.
Yes.
Is achievable goals, but make them so they're not easy to reach.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Peter Diamandis and the X Prize?
Absolutely. Love
so
it.
the X Prize sets insane goals that seem so out of reach, but they are tangible. But so many people compete, and when they do, they change the planet, like the X Prize, or the Lunar X Prize, which is going on right now. Almost set X Prize goals for our kids that are achievable, but almost out of reach. Do you agree
Very
with
good
me on
point. Very good point. It's under my dad model. My wife tells me, honey, kids love you. Why don't you call your business model the dad model, right? Okay. So what I do is the A part is the aspirations part. It's so important. Okay. I'll go back to that. So dad means I help kids, whether you are 17, 12 or 27. And there's different life stages. In different life stages, you got different tangible goals, right? But constant is really mindset, skill set, strategy, execution, aim, ambition line, aspirations. So I help kids, and literally through my book is help you develop and hone your mindset, your skill set, your strategies, help you aim, help put you onto the ambition line, help you define aspirations if you're lost. Most kids are a little bit lost. Most kids need a lot of direction. They don't know what they don't know. That's a problem. They don't know what they don't know. True. Kids are rudderless, right? But if I could strengthen the rudder where it feels authentic to them and they feel great about it, they could derive some personal fulfillment and all that.
Is this all in the book, by the way, Jason?
It's in the book.
So the book, again, is called Young Leaders, 3.0, Stories, Insight, and Tips for the Next Generation Achievers. Jason Ma, you can find the book over at Amazon.com. Let's switch this around now. Kids that are listening, and they have the aspirations and desires to be the rock stars that we talk about, like the Mark Zuckerbergs and Elon Musks.
Yes.
They admire them more than anyone, and they go, I want to be like that.
Yes.
How or what suggestions do you have? 3 suggestions for them to achieve those type of goals.
Okay, kids, I think that it's very important, even though we all got, quote unquote, as a joke, right, ADD, but you have to read. You must read. If you like to go to good schools, if you don't have good reading skills, good critical thinking skills, good analytical skills, and be able to sit down and read for a span of time, you're going to get killed, right? Because you're not going to get high scores. You're not going to be able to write great essays. You know how difficult those college app essays are? It's crazy.
I hate to do this to you. You just sound like a parent just now, okay? I'm being serious. Let me just put it this way. I'm a horrible reader. Horrible.
Okay.
But I read 5 hours a day.
Okay. You're a great reader. 5 hours. Are you kidding me?
I read the same line over and over again for 5 hours. No, what happens is this. The more you read, the better you get.
Yes.
So let's just tell the kids.
Yes.
Young adults out there, the more you read, the better you get.
It's called the compound interest effect. In fact, there's about 170 essays in there in the book. And I wrote the book where it reads like a novel of mini novels, right? It's very super entertaining to read. It's all real though, with practical personal stories, practical insights and tips. Whole bunch of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's what you do, 1, 2, 3.
Got it.
One essay in there's about 170 essays in there within my framework. And within my dad, I did not write the word dad in there, but one of them is about compound interest. The more you learn, the more you do, it compound over what's going on in your brain, your nervous system.
That's exciting.
Right? That's very exciting. And then that gets you more confidence, because if you're not confident, you cannot become competent and capable. And it's a feedback loop, right? Brendon Burchard, he said the same thing, right? Confidence, competence, commitment, coaching with clarity in between.
Let's face it, once you get the knowledge, it gives you the courage to take the action to make things happen. What's another thing? Besides read, what's another thing? Anyone that's listening, anyone under 25, actually, quite frankly, anyone, but what's another thing?
Learn to be a great communicator, okay? Learn to be a great communicator. My daughter, for example, she's able to speak in front of a stadium, in front of a, whatever group.
Stage fright, she's somehow removed.
It's all practice. Yeah. Lots of practice. Practice in front of a mirror. Practice in front of parents. Do you have stage fright? I used to have stage fright way back, but no, not anymore. It's gone.
Okay.
Why? Through practice and learning. Practice and learning. Practice and learning. Make mistakes. Fail. It's okay. Okay. You heard the trite expression, 10,000 steps before the light bulb got invented, right? You're 10,000 steps closer to success. Don't worry about it.
That's a Chinese proverb, by the way.
Is that right?
Did you know that?
Okay.
The distance of 1,000 miles starts with the
you're
first
more
step.
Chinese than I am.
It sounds like it. I got proverbs everywhere right now. Let's go to another one. Jason, third thing, anyone that's listening to achieve those goals to be like an Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, what would be another thing?
I would say really work on your emotional, social, and leadership intelligence here. There's a lot of books you can read.
How do you do that?
Oh my gosh. Through a lot of coaching, training, trial, networking. Learn to network real well.
Okay, I want to change. I'm going to be like your daughter.
Yes.
Since I found out I'm a few years younger than you, so you listen to me, right? Because you listen to young people. Let's not call it networking.
Okay.
Let's call it connecting.
Connecting, engaging.
Okay? Because networking is something you just throw somebody into and they have to figure out. I think connecting means make an actual connection between one another.
You focus on the relationship.
Yes, right there, connecting.
Yes.
And then the other thing I want to add is I like your IQ, EQ.
Yeah.
There's two more I want to add. And I think they're really important. And younger people will really grab these, okay? I want to go with MQ. That's a moral quota.
Absolutely.
Okay? Morals go back and forth. You
Absolutely.
know? We call it karma when we were young, and what happens to them, you want to happen to you, vice versa. And the other one's BQ, which is really important. That's body quota. That's taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
Because I think there's a full circle between your IQ, EQ, MQ, and BQ.
Bingo.
Right?
Bingo. Why? Because the way it works is that your belief system, your story, your character, okay, your story about yourself, it's all a set of rules, global rules, if-then rules. That's your story, right? And then your language, your self-talk, your physiology. Look, I'm 53. I work out. I work 8 hours a week, and same for you. And but I realized how important oxygenation has been important. Okay, input, efficiency of oxygen going through your brain, your body, and output. In order to do that, you have to manage your physiology. You have to have a fitness program. Don't call it workout.
No. Fitness. It's fun. Young leaders. Get the book, Young Leaders 3.0. One quick story of an entrepreneur. You got about a minute. Tell us something amazing about an entrepreneur inside or achiever inside this book.
Oh man, so many. Go for Tim Huang. Go for Jeremy Fiance. In fact, Jeremy and Alex Fiance, Chiral Society, I'm a mentor there. They were on your show. And Jeremy Fiance, his chapter title, each kid's got a chapter title. His is Relentlessly Resourceful, Master of None.
And what's his achievement story?
His achievement story is that he became probably the student entrepreneurial leader in Berkeley. Just got out last year. He's forming the first venture capital fund.
Super sharp guy.
Yeah. And he wants to really gel the dormant resources in Berkeley, like huge set of talent, but kids are lost. They don't know what to do. And Berkeley, I'm an alma mater in Berkeley. I'm a life member, Cal Bears, blah, blah, blah. But I find that because of a public university, it's like a large thing. People get kind of a little bit intimidating too. So Jeremy he realizes that there's so much talent in the campus. Why don't he put together a great fund and really mesmerize. When you read his chapter, you learn about his humility.
It's all here.
It's crazy.
It's all here. Book is called?
Young Leaders 3.0. Stories, insights, and tips for next generation achievers.
Nice job. You didn't even look at the book and you knew the title. You can find it over at Amazon.com.
Yes.
Jason, I appreciate you sharing time with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Go to youngleaders3.com, the website. Go there first, youngleaders3.com.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ken.